disappointment. It always seems that Steph Curry just dominates at the Garden from his start from his days at Davidson. He's 13-1. The Knicks can never beat Steph Curry at the Garden. The last time I think they beat him was 2013. Carmelo Anthony, Raymond Felton team. But regardless, I almost feel like this game falls squarely on coaching. I mean, guaranteed, the Knicks did not have a great shooting night from the perimeter. But Tom Thibodeau did not try to create any advantages or try to go to every bullet in his chamber. There's so many things that I felt that Tom Thibodeau did not do that cost his team a little bit. Or I should say cost his team the game, rather. So we'll start off with strategy one, in my opinion. That would be Deuce McBride's lack of minutes in crunch time. Josh Hart was an absolute non-factor tonight. Did not shoot well. Didn't play good defense. Turnovers. And in terms of the defense, which to anybody who's watched the film this year or watched the games, caught ball watching, standing far off from the perimeter, backdoor cuts. And it's just the same old with him where he's providing no significant advantage. He's not even the Knicks' best point of attack defender. But once again, Tom Thibodeau is loyal to his veterans. And it's a shame and I'm not going to say Deuce McBride played great tonight. Yes, he was 2 for 7. Put up 6 points, I believe it was. +8 from the floor. I think the conversation really needs to be started that Deuce McBride needs to start for the Knicks. Meanwhile, Karl Anthony Towns is out, should I say. Obviously, he probably won't start when Mitchell Robinson... Well, this is an if Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns are starting the same lineup. But when Karl Anthony Towns returns from his personal issues, obviously prayers out to his family. But what advantage statistically does Josh Hart give over Deuce McBride? McBride only got 24 minutes tonight, which was a sham in itself. I believe the Knicks were like a +22, I believe, in the Deuce McBride minutes just alone, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. +8 in 24 minutes, -20 in the 24 non-Deuce minutes. I mean, like, what are we doing? What are we doing at this point? Because, yes, I get it. Josh Hart brings the quote-unquote hard. He does the dirty work, the intangibles, the energy he brings. Great. He's an ideal fit for the bench, and I've always said he's an ideal fit for the bench. Not necessarily on this podcast, but if you really want to go back to somebody who's been saying this longer than I have, XJ from Hot Hand Theory tweeted back in like September, October. Bookmark this if you believe Deuce McBride should be starting over Josh Hart. I was one of the people who bookmarked it. I temporarily unbookmarked it, and then I rebookmarked it after the Boston game. Because Josh Hart creates such a negative on offense. Yes, he's great in transition, brings the energy, as I already said. But does he provide spacing? No, he doesn't. When he drives to the rim, he's always met in the paint. He cuts. Congratulations. But it always seems like the Knicks, when he's on the floor, as one of two non-shooters, the Knicks are playing with one hand behind their back. And Tibbs is very stubborn, in which he's always including Josh Hart with a big. Josh Hart with Mitchell Robinson, Josh Hart with Precious Achiuwa. It's nonsensical. Because you're seeing teams' game plan up on Jalen Brunson, preventing him from driving to the paint, doubling him most times. Now, I'm not saying Josh Hart is useless on offense. He's good as a facilitator, trying to get Brunson off the ball. If you want to put the ball in somebody's hands to try to facilitate the offense while Brunson's trying to move across screens, okay, Josh Hart's the guy. But at the same time, the way that Tibbs uses him, and if Josh Hart's going to have a role on offense in the starting lineup, it has to be as a second facilitator. But even then, why did you bring Mikal Bridges here? Because Mikal Bridges was seen as that third scoring option, that kind of second facilitator. Towns is not really a facilitator. He's a second scorer on this team. Obviously, he's not in the starting lineup right now. But why, if you're using Josh Hart as that secondary facilitator, yes, he's good at that. Why was Mikal Bridges brought in here? Why can't he run the offense? Why can't he find open looks, create open looks for Jalen Brunson? That was just absolutely puzzling to me. And to talk about the open looks, I'm going to transition to another gripe of mine. In crunch time, it just seemed like the Knicks didn't even want to give the ball to Jalen Brunson. It's not even just like they wanted to. Their game plan didn't dictate that. You saw the Warriors in crunch time constantly getting the ball to Steph Curry. And the Knicks didn't even try to trap him. Golden State was throwing trap after trap after trap near half court, trying to get Brunson back in the half court, trying to trap him all the way out to the logo, trying to get the ball out of his hands. Congratulations, Golden State. You did a perfect job of defending Jalen Brunson in the clutch. They obviously did their homework, and the Knicks did not. Nobody else. OG Anunoby, cold in the fourth quarter the end of the fourth quarter for the most part. He's not a really guy known for creation. Mikal Bridges, no. Josh Hart being in there was absolutely laughable. Deuce McBride should have been there, as I already said. But the way that the Golden State Warriors made their adjustments and the Knicks didn't is, my opinion, a crucial part to why this game came out like it did, why the Knicks were not on top, and why Golden State was. Those two game plans at the end mirrored each other. The Golden State Warriors did a great job, kept the ball out of the hands of the best player. The Knicks did the complete opposite. Left the ball in the hands of the best player, not just to shoot, but to pass. Knicks constantly getting beat on backdoor cuts. It's not even like they practice it. Because they've had that problem for years now. OG Anunoby getting beat backdoor. Mikal Bridges getting beat backdoor. Jalen Brunson getting beat backdoor. Josh Hart getting beat backdoor. All these cross screens being set up. Knicks not leveling defenders. Or not playing level to the defenders. Not recognizing cross screens. Not seeing ball and man at the same time. It's just these fundamental aspects of coaching and the little details that Tom Thibodeau's supposed to preach, but he's not. And this is not going to this is going to come out like a fire Tibbs thing or whatever, but it's just frustrating seeing these advantages or these certain weaknesses not being corrected. And I talked about Josh Hart being that secondary facilitator. Why are we not getting the ball to our best player in Jalen Brunson? Having him come off ball. Why are we not creating advantages? Here's another advantage that we didn't create for ourselves. Why did the Knicks not run a small ball lineup the entire game? Maybe down to the last 2 minutes and 20 seconds. That was like the only small ball they ran. Good. Here's a news flash. They were down 10 points. The game was basically over. Again, Mr. Tibbs always needs a rim protector. Draymond Green was their starting center. They also had Kevon Looney. They also had, what's his name? Post. Quinton Post, the rookie. Dutch rookie. The Knicks did not try to create an advantage to go completely all 5 out. They didn't even try. And yes, I get it. Size, rebounding, rim protection, defense, the whole fundamental Tibbs principles. You could continue to preach that to me until you get blue in the face. But Tibbs just, in my opinion, just doesn't do a good job of adjustments on the fly or creating advantages for his team. Especially on offense. And the Knicks could have exploited the Warriors' big men if they ran small ball. Not once. Not once did they do that with OG. Especially the way OG played offensively tonight. I thought there was a very good case that he could have been playing at the 5. Absolutely erroneous. And one last note. And I don't want to sound like I'm complaining. I'm just breaking down my gripes with the game. The Knicks come out the third quarter. They start to lose a little bit of momentum. Obviously, the Warriors take the lead. The Knicks tie the game. It's a bit of a grit and grind there from then on to the fourth quarter. Tom Thibodeau's asked about that, or why the Knicks lost the game. He says, didn't play with the right energy. Lack of energy. Cites energy. Here's a newsflash, coach. You could change that. You could say, you know what? Said player looks a little tired out there. I'm going to go load another bullet from my chamber. Josh Hart, if you're not playing with the energy I like, if you're causing too many turnovers, Deuce McBride, you're going in the game. And it's not even just about player. Like said player, like Josh Hart or Mikal Bridges playing without the energy. You're in total control of that. You're the coach. You're supposed to be a disciplinarian. You're supposed to hold everybody accountable. Start doing that. There's no reason you have to come out with a cop-out and say, oh, the low energy was low. That's a cop-out for plainly saying, I didn't adjust. I didn't adjust to the circumstances on the fly. That's my own fault. Of course, he wouldn't say that, but just so frustrating because, and like the aspects I broke down, Josh Hart being a bad spacer, Precious Achiuwa was terrible tonight, and I've seen enough of him. Him and Hart being in the same lineup, that's going to get completely exposed against teams like the Clippers and the Lakers. Warriors were also playing up on the upcoming West Coast trip, so that'll be fun. But just a frustrating loss for the Knicks. I really thought they could have had this one in hand before heading to the West Coast. They'll play the Lakers on Thursday, who they previously did not beat at Madison Square Garden. LeBron already hit his 50K points. But regardless, if you have heard me rant for this long, and if you're new here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well, turn on that notification bell so you know when I go live or drop a new video. Otherwise, without my ranting and raving, I'll catch y'all later.